I can't believe it. I got the world famous, one of the biggest savages and one of the most genuine people I know. One of my great friends from college, seriously, one of the best advice givers. And when she agreed to come on, I was genuinely excited. And I'm so excited I got a hold of her. So, everyone, without further ado, I have the incredible Erica Larson here on the Productive Conversations podcast. Erica, what's going on?
Not much. I'm at work right now. I just put the baby down for a nap. Killing it as a nanny right now. Not much else going on.
Well, they're perfect. I mean, it's such an honor you would accommodate for us. And I know all of us and everyone listening is really psyched and excited for this. So thanks again. So first things first, Erica, tell me, I know I heard 2020 has been quite a year for some people. Well, as we're recording this, we're only six weeks away until it's over. But, how's things been lately for you?
It's been interesting. I graduated in last December, got my master's.
Congratulations.
And then all of a sudden we had a pandemic. So how do you get a job in a pandemic? I mean, kind of crazy. So went straight back to nannying and, here we are. It's not bad, but it's definitely a change. It's been a little lonely,
Yeah.
Not much to do.
You know where I'm coming from. I'm in the exact same boat. Just was preparing to get promoted and take a step up with all my production stuff. Got enough experience and credits to go beyond the PA route. And as I was interviewing, I interviewed that very week for 2 jobs that would get me in that role. And then all of a sudden, a pandemic hits. So it's been quite the time. I've been trying to stay in shape, eat healthy, and trying to apply jobs still. And I think this is certainly what we're on here, the podcast, one of the best silver linings besides the extra time with family and such. So yeah, it's been quite a road. What do you as we're recording this very day, we saw last week of Pfizer, Big Pharma Pfizer's announcing they have a vaccine in the works. And today we have Moderna, I believe that's how you pronounce them. And they're saying they have a vaccine themselves. So, I mean, having said that, and it seems that, we don't have to go no conspiracies. We don't have to go into deep stuff like that. But the point I'm bringing up is it seems that we may be on the road to recovery and start new things. And my question is, once this pandemic is over, what do you have planned for yourself besides, staying as the world's best nanny, of course?
That's a good question. I don't really know, honestly. When I graduated with my master's, I was looking for jobs in HR and kind of just going that road and using the degrees that I have. But I love nannying. I love what I do. So, I've gone through a lot of self-reflection during the time in quarantine.
Right.
And I'm thinking about maybe starting a home daycare, which is kind of right up my alley. I got that management background. I got all that stuff going. But then working with kids, something I love. I'm a giant child, as you probably know.
Yeah, right.
So, I'm thinking about it. Maybe in the spring, maybe in the summer. Definitely thinking about it, though. It's something high up on my list.
How about that? You have my support this whole way through. And, in my time, when it's my time to have kids, I would say I could trust you with them. And I'm sure a lot of other people do, but that's really, really sweet to hear. You ever see that movie Daddy Daycare? You ever see that?
Oh yeah.
You could do the next step up, but it's, not a movie. And you could really change some lives out here.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hope, help people out and raise good kids.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned one thing, if you don't mind, straight away. You mentioned, because you've given me great HR advice throughout this time, having that background, and as you mentioned, and I always annoy you with HR help. Obviously, it's been a while since that because it's hard to find any opportunities. But
Oh,
how do you how do you think? I mean, I understand you've also been out of it, but with HR in general, and for people trying to get a step in the right direction once things resume, what do you think are some ways for HR managers to help notice some viable candidates?
so for people to get like their resumes noticed and stuff.
Yeah. What is the things they can do? Those little tips and tricks, and maybe even want to reveal some secrets if you want.
So right now, going through quarantine and going through all of this pandemic, like everything's been changing so much.
Mm-hmm.
The way that our workforce is not, it's probably not going to go back to conventional, like sit in the office, come in for 8 hours a day, that kind of situation. So there's going to be a lot more work from home. There's going to be a lot of flexibility coming out of this. So some of the things that you guys can do definitely to help your resume, put down what you're proficient in. Like if you're great on Zoom, put that on your resume because companies are going to look for that. They're going to ensure that you're competent in the computer skills, competent in the communication skills that are needed for a work from home or a remote position. Those are good things to put down. And then anything that you did during quarantine that's unique to you, but a little bit outside of maybe your specialty. So if you learned how to create social media campaigns, or if you learned how to do a website, or you learned how to knit or whatever, put those new skills onto your resume that make you stand out a little bit more from those, regular Joes, all those regular people who maybe didn't use the time to build on themselves.
All right. See, this is why I love you, Erica. Always a great answer that genuinely can help. And I hope that you can you like what I'm doing as I'm trying to grow in my time in between jobs with this and other things. So it's really exciting times.
Oh yeah.
Shouts.
Well, this is gonna be a good. Oh yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a great resume builder for you, being in communication and being someone that wants to do production, producing your own show and going out and getting guests. Like those are all individual skills that you can put on your resume. So, if you're a great person for recruiting new talent, now that's a skill that you have because you're reaching out to people and you're getting them on your show. You're producing your own podcast. So you're showing initiative in that. And like, those are all things that are going to help you grow in the communication world.
Oh, that's like you said, and that's one of the biggest reasons why this whole thing became really evolved. And it was I don't know if I actually said this yet. So you're the first. So learn the big reasons. I always knew this was going to happen at some point in my life, but then of course wasn't doing much, especially in the summer, and then besides just applying to jobs and writing and all that stuff. And then my dad just got tired of my dad yelling at me saying I'm not doing anything, even though I thought I was. But I guess it was a blessing in disguise and getting these new skills. Yeah, like you said, recruiting talent to come on, using the Zoom, adding new equipment, both audio and visual now. So I plan on, this is my big week to start put that in the resume and not have that gap anymore. So, and all this great advice you're giving me, I'm just really excited. So thank you as always, Erica.
You're welcome. Let me give one more piece of advice on the whole resume thing. When you're looking at jobs, make sure you're looking at each individual job and writing your resume tailored to that job. Because if you just put out a mass resume, it's going to go through the system and the system's going to filter you out. But if you're specifically tailoring it to what job you're looking at and the job that you want, and making sure you put all the keywords in there and all of that, everything they're looking for. If they're looking for specific skills, put those specific skills and use the same words that they use in their job description into your resume, so that when it goes through the automatic system, it pulls those words and it says, oh, this candidate has everything we're looking for.
All right, sweet. As do our best to avoid those automated emails. And I'm definitely taking this. So thank you again. Now, let's get into some light things. You and I love our reality TVs, right?
We do.
My first suggestion, would you ever consider being a nanny on a show? What was that show way back with the British nanny? I don't and she like,
Super Nanny.
yeah.
Super Nanny.
And she literally
I
took
love
these
her.
devil kids and turned them around for the better. And sometimes we see them pop up again on TikToks and YouTube compilations. Firstly, third, could you see yourself being one of those nannies, having your own show?
I don't know if I
With your
could do it on
daycare?
TV. I don't know if I could deal with the caliber of children that she deals with, but I definitely took a lot away from watching that show.
Really?
I have 2 children that I nanny for now. One is in kindergarten and the other one is 2.5. So he's the one that's napping right now.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's in kindergarten goes through, you know, all the mood swings of a female throughout the week. So we get the temper tantrum, the overtired, like all of those things. So I've definitely taken some of the timeout skills, some of the getting down to their level and talking to them eye to eye and really going through figuring out what's wrong and doing all that. So I took a lot away from that show. I don't know if I could personally be Super Nanny because the kids that she deals with, they're like way off the charts.
Man, I mean, yeah, and then you have the whole camera aspect and a crew following you around, and you know, speaking.
And you have to wonder, like, how much of that was like scripted? Like, how were the kids really that bad, or were they just acting that bad so that she could make it look like she made it so much better?
You know,
it was reality TV
for sure. And you know, dipping my toe in that world, we do see some things are a little more over exaggerated. I think some shows are more scripted than others, but they just really emphasize things. And some shows are really hard to fake it out when it comes to that stuff. I think, like, you know, like Survivor. I think Survivor, believe it or not, is as authentic as they could get. Of course, you know, all else fails. There's always somebody monitoring them when they live in the woods and tropical islands and stuff. But there really are people really getting stressed out if you were had nothing but the clothes on your back. And like, I don't know, you ever see Big Brother?
I don't watch Big Brother now. I've seen it like a few times. I never really got into it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm on my quest because us Big Brother fans are such a niche group of people. And when you find someone, they're usually really into it. But the thing is, they're always monitored 24/7. Like, that's the name of the game. Put a bunch of people in the house. They straight it. Of course, sometimes they had to cut things, like if there's emergencies and stuff. But that's also as authentic as you can get. And you just show it's just really boring. You can only do so much. They're not allowed to have music. They're not allowed to even write stuff. And yeah. Us humans can be boring. But tell me more. So with reality, what you checking out right now? Are you watching the new Bachelorette season?
Yes. Okay,
I know we talked about that before.
But I'm only watching it. I've never watched The Bachelor. I've never watched The Bachelorette. I've never watched Bachelor in Paradise. But this season, there's Jordan C. So Jordan C. on The Bachelorette. He went to my high school. So he's 2 years older than me.
Really?
I think he's 2 years older. He went to my high school. So I was like, I have to watch. Like, I had to see what he does. Like, if he's the same as he was in high school. Because we weren't friends or anything. We weren't close. But, like, I saw him in the halls all the time. So it's, like, it's kind of cool. It's, like, your personal celebrity.
Oh, my God. And he's like, when you saw this, it's like, that guy's going to be on reality TV one day? Did he have a special sparkle to him?
Yes and no. I don't know. He was like that. He's like the all-American, like, football star. He did basketball. Like, he did all the things, and, you know, he was pretty popular. Everyone loved him. He's a super nice guy. But like I said, we were never, like, close, so no one ever saw him, like, being on The Bachelorette. Like, if anything, like, maybe The Challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, an MTV show, but, like, not The Bachelorette. But, you know.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, he's taking the ultimate shooting his shot moment. So everybody can see now. But, you know, I brought it up. We see for anyone, this has been quite the season for The Bachelorette 2. And with Claire, and she already picked her winner as soon as she went. And we know that there's going to be a major change coming up, and they're just recasting it, everything. What do you think of all that's been going down and such?
I'm very happy that they recasted it because I hated Claire.
Yep.
I think Claire is the most annoying human I've ever encountered, ever. and I don't even know her, but like seeing her on TV, like I cringed at every episode. Everything she says sounds fake. She just seems like a terrible person that I would never want to interact with. I mean, not like that she's a bad person, but like I just not the kind of person that I would hang out with ever.
Right. And she's, first of all, she's not giving Jordan his fair chance. So another reason to be mad
She
too.
didn't give anyone a chance. She like saw Dale come out of the limo and was like, I'm gonna marry him.
Yeah, like you're right. She just seems so, I mean, I know she had a tough past and I commend her for that and, you know, overcoming her obstacles, but like she just seems so intimidating. I feel like, you know, I won't lie. I mean, I don't think, okay, how do I say this nicely? So she's a pretty woman, definitely. Of course, like if I had a shot or like, you know, fingers crossed to see what happened. But like when I see a lot of bachelorettes especially and like when they're competing on the Bachelor, like these women are stunning, like one in a million, like pick them from a special group. And she's just like, compared to, you know, the competition she has, she's just like, okay, like, you know, like when I see the Bachelorette, I expect to see like a 15 and whatever. And then she has a heart of gold and comes from a cool family. And she's just like, she is just meh, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Then,
well, I think she's like outwardly very pretty, but I think her personality just sucks. So I think that brings it down a lot.
Right.
And then also the fact that she was like, it's just weird because a lot of the guys were like 26, 27, and she's 39. So I'm like, you're 13 years older than the guys you're trying to date. That's weird. Like, go on Christian Mingle or like, I don't know, Match.com. Go on eHarmony. Like, go find old people. I don't know what you want, but like, go away. I like Tayshia way more. She's crazy.
Yeah, Tayshia seems like I mean, she's stunning. She seems like a real homegirl. Like, she's so approachable. I think she'd be very honest, even if like if she's not feeling whoever and stuff like that. You don't feel like. I think she seems very genuine, and it's awesome that the show found her for that. But you're right too. I think Claire just seems stuck up and gives more headaches, and you know, whatever. Her and Dale, man, Candy, and enjoy running away together, and whatever.
See that lasting.
Nope. I don't think you don't feel that great vibe. You know, one thing we talked about with the former Bachelor winner, right before all COVID hit, and I remember I can't think of the guy's name at the moment. Who won? And the mom was like, no. And then do you remember the guy's name? No, you don't remember. Oh, well, I just remember. Oh, duh. You did see that, but you know what? I just want everybody to hear. I want my audience to hear how much I keep up with everything. So there, we'll do it for that. But yeah, good luck to Jordan. I hope he pulls it off. I didn't have a winner. I care. But you know what? After you told me this, he's got my support.
Good.
But what?
I don't know how well he's doing right now. He kind of like, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, definitely fingers crossed for him, and I'm sure some other show will pick him up for something, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I still want him to be on the challenge. I think that would be great.
Oh yeah. I mean, have you been watching some of the recent seasons? There's a lot of Big Brother contestants who've been on the challenge, like Natalie and Josh.
I haven't watched
Paulie.
I haven't watched the recent seasons. I love Paulie. He was on
really?
a different show. I love Paulie. I forgot what show he was on, but he was on a different show too. I think I watched last season when Corey was on.
Yeah.
Love that. I love Corey.
He was another Big Brother guy too. See, more of a reason to get into the show now. You have to give it a chance in the summer.
Maybe. It's just so long. Like, I see it on the guide, and it's like this like huge stretch. It's like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time.
But I definitely hear you, but just I don't know, there's just something about it. Maybe it's like the fights, maybe it's the shadiness. I just want to see people go at each other. And they just come up with creative insults, and I don't know. It's just like that special niche, and whenever I have to start a fan club, just a big iMessage group chat so we can all geek out on it, because it's hard to find them out here.
It is. I have a few friends that watch it and they're like obsessed with it. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're obsessed with this, but sure.
Yeah, well, please highly suggest them to see this show so we can all they could be the first in the club. So
Okay, I will.
you watching or binging anything else recently new? Getting into anything fun?
Okay, so beginning of quarantine, I was binging Outlander. Such a good show.
Oh, I've heard amazing
Everyone should
things.
watch it. Oh, I watched it twice. Amazing. Like, such a good show. And then my friend who recommended Outlander recommended that I watch Lucifer. So now I'm on season 3 of Lucifer. Another such a good show.
Great,
so
Idris
good.
Elba.
So
I hope he becomes James Bond. That's what they're saying that he might be.
So I've heard that, and then I've heard Harry Styles too as James Bond, and I was like, I would
Harry
not watch
Styles
that.
is James Bond? Nah, I mean Harry Styles is awesome. I think he's a great talented, but you do have to have like a much suave. I think you have to be like mid-30s and up to be James Bond. You just have to have that swagger and cool, like you know what I mean? And Harry Styles just has a baby.
Unpopular opinion. You know who I think would be a great James Bond?
Who?
Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown?
I think he'd be a great James Bond.
I can see that.
He would be great.
He could transform. He does know how to transform. He is the homie. I wish I could say we were related, but that's the only thing. He's just not British. You have to be British to be on. That's tough. But
or he could like make an accent.
Well, we are seeing a much more progressive world, and a lot of things are changing. So you know what? Why not?
Either that, or like maybe like one of the Hemsworth brothers.
The Hemsworth? I'd like that.
Like an Australian accent would be like a nice twist.
Yeah, I think the rule. Yeah. They do have to be. There's been an Irish Bond. The rest are British. You know, yeah. Why not an Australian one? How about what if they did? Yeah. What if you got an insane? I don't know if you get that rip again, but like more cut. What if you had Hugh Jackman but James Bond?
Nah, I don't like. I don't know. I never really liked Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Like, he was okay. He was okay.
I once caused a paparazzi.
I could see. Oh, go ahead. Talk about your paparazzi. I want to hear this.
So, I've said this a couple of times. I've said this to people before on the podcast. I briefly mentioned it, but I could go deep. So, one time I was in New York. I was across the street at Radio City waiting for a show. Now, across from Radio City is 30 Rock, where they filmed The Tonight Show, SNL, all that. So, a lot of famous people in and out. And so, standing in line at Radio City, I see this was like 7 years ago. So I see this brolic, this massive man, monster among men, like 6'5", everything. But I saw right away it was Hugh Jackman, and nobody noticed at all. He was just chilling, waiting for his car. He's in this big brown suit, and he wasn't Hugh Jackman body. Just goals right there, I guess. But anyways, I wait, like it's a good 2 minutes. Nobody's noticing. And then I was just talking to my friends while still on the corner of my eye, seeing, there's Hugh Jackman there. And then I just say to my friends, hey guys, look, it's Hugh Jackman. And I swear to you, the stampede from like the Lion King ran up across the street to attack him, like getting pictures, everyone around. And like, he almost got away with it, and his car still took like a good 2 minutes. He was pretty gracious in getting as much pictures and saying hi to him, whatever. And then he went by, and it's one of my dreams to tell him that story to his face.
I could see it. Like, I could see like something happens, like your podcast goes viral or something. Something wild happens, and you end up on like Jimmy Fallon telling the story. And then you get like Hugh Jackman like walks out, like see it happening.
Oh my God, I'm trying to have that moment. Let's get that within 10 years. And my other thing with Jimmy Fallon, I interviewed for his show, for his intern. I interviewed to be an intern. I made it to the very end just to come up short. And my dream is on that show. The first thing I say, hey Jimmy, I just want to say, like, however years ago, I interviewed for your show. And your team said no to me. And now I'm sitting on your couch.
That'd be high quality. I can't wait to see that. It's gonna
Oh,
happen.
I believe it too. I can't wait to see it. I just can't wait to make that full circle. And their loss.
Definitely their loss.
You ever see any famous people, Erica? You ever run into, be around, or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Besides Jordan,
I
of
really don't
course.
think so.
Pre-fame Jordan
Yeah,
from The Bachelor.
I'm trying to think, like, have I ever met anyone famous? But I really don't think I have.
Well, that's gonna change this decade. I'll call it this decade. You'll interact. Is there anyone you
Well,
would like?
I know you. So like we're halfway there.
Literally.
And then, I really don't know. Like I don't know if I would want to meet like anyone. I don't know.
Yeah, like
I'm trying to think like who I think would be really cool.
that's my thing. Like half there. Like I would like to meet, but I wouldn't want to have my soul crushed. Like if a celebrity was rude to me or pushed around, like I was talking to when I talked to my friend Jordan on the show, and he saw Lindsay Lohan, and she disrespected him, and like he's cool about it, but I wouldn't have. I just would have been like, never again. But that's just me with my grudges, I guess.
I mean, I think the only person, well, maybe two people that I would like want to meet. Emma, what's her last name? Hermione. I really want to meet Hermione because people
Watson.
tell me I look like her all the time. Yes, Emma Watson. People tell me I look like Hermione all the time, so I'm like, I need to meet her and just like get a picture for comparison.
I can see it. That'd be a funny interaction.
Right? I think definitely her. And then the only other one I would want to meet is Sam Huygen, who's like the star of Outlander, just because I think he's like really hot, and I just want to meet him. But that's really it.
Definitely fair reasons. Yeah, if you could just have like that Hermione special hair she has, like the poofed out, I think, and get those like little glasses, like.
Oh, it's not that big today.
Wait, when you had it like this, kind of with the hair in the like that. Yeah. Oh, we're having our Kodak moment right here. So hopefully we could start some campaign to just have the picture. You don't even have to say hello, you could say hi, thank you for what you've done, I guess, and then.
I think I actually have a picture. I think I was Hermione in like 3rd grade for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I think I have a picture. Like I literally look just like her. It's wild.
Man, I need to get some cool celebrity lookalikes. I've gotten some real dumb ones. I think they're more trolling, but like sometimes when I have my beard trimmed and I have my hair a certain way, I can pull off the weekend. One time I was at a nightclub in New York City, and this girl came up to me and said it, and I won't lie, I took advantage. She was incredibly beautiful, and then I guess she kind of was able to tell when I wasn't able to sing or nothing. But that was one time. But and then like when I was much bigger, somebody said I looked like George Lopez, but I said we have different skin tones, so I don't know why you'd say that.
Yeah, I can see the Weeknd. I don't see the George Lopez.
Yeah, I think they just wanted being dicks, to be honest. But yeah,
people suck.
Amen to that. Amen. So, one of the things mentioned here, right? You've been hanging out with kids a lot, of course, doing your job. Does this make you like, and you mentioned yourself that you're a big child, your words, of course. So, do you, what do you really miss about childhood? What it was like, remember those days? Like, I mean, so we're the same age, so we're getting into our early 2000s, mid 2000s days. What are like some of the things you really miss about the good old days? Pre-COVID.
I definitely miss like coming home from school and like just like jamming out my homework really quick for like the whole week. This is like 2nd grade, back when they gave you like homework on Monday for the whole week.
Oh,
and I would do the whole week on Monday, so I didn't have to do it like throughout the week. Just jam it all out on Monday and then just like come home, crash on the couch and watch Rugrats for like 2 hours.
Oh, classic. Funny you mentioned Rugrats.
Amazing.
I watched like this deep, really nerdy video essay about Rugrats. It was from this channel called Wisecrack. It was called Rugrats. How it was basically saying like how boomers like rule a generation, and like I went back and if you watch those episodes now, some of the adults in it, they say some really like deep and profound things. I don't know if sometimes you've seen memes about it. Like I don't know, there's one where the dad Stu was making pudding at like 4 a.m, and the mom came, like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm trying to get my life back together." They say this on a show for 7-year-olds.
See, but that's the thing. Like most of, not like the recent ones, but like the older Nickelodeon shows, they were made with like adult humor. But like we didn't understand it when we were little, so like we just thought like the like show was good. But then like the adults that were watching it with us could also kind of at least enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
And it also makes it timeless. I still go back and watch them, and like now I watch them and I have a whole new like view of it because I get the adult humor now.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I love those shows. Those shows are great. That and SpongeBob. Like SpongeBob has so many dirty jokes in it. So many.
It's insane. I mean, like, you know, it's called Bikini Bottom. That's the name of the whole town. There's the Krabby Patties. You ever see the one where it's implied that SpongeBob's watching porn and it's like I forgot those things. I knew what it used to be called. It was like it's called Seed Plan, and you're very into animals and environment, so I apologize if I mess it up, but it's like a seed plant just moving back and forth. And he's like, "Gary's rocking," and it's like, "Gary!" And he's just implying that he's watching some dirty stuff.
I don't know.
Well, I could definitely.
I don't know. I don't remember that one, but yeah, definitely a lot of like adult humor in those shows. But those shows were great.
Oh yeah, like genuinely quality. Like a lot of them are on Hulu. You can check out. Remember Netflix promised us they were going to get all those 90s shows on their platform when Disney Plus was launched, but I guess they were just playing us. So shouts to Hulu.
Yeah.
You know, it was also a great show.
Oh, wow.
Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold was real as fuck.
Hey Arnold was a great show. Loved Hey Arnold. What was that girl's name?
Helga.
The annoying one, the pink dress. Yeah, I love her. She's my favorite.
I think
like her between like Helga and Cynthia from Rugrats, like the doll.
The doll.
And also like what was her name? Angelica. Like those three are my spirit animals. I love them. Love them.
The squads. And I like how we can enjoy the shows. I hate when people try to make these disturbing fan theories, probably wrote it in their basement in their parents' house in Montana, and they just try to depress us. But no, you got to enjoy the show for the show, you know?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the fan theories are like fun to read and then go watch the show and be like, oh yeah, like maybe, but probably not.
Yeah, let me try. I could go with cool fan theories like, oh, this is symbol for that, but not the ones that are like, oh, Angelica really is just imagining the kids because they're dead. I was like, no, but you don't need to think that. Who thinks that like that? But I don't know. It's their world and we're just living in it.
Yeah, there was a fan theory that Patchy the pirate for SpongeBob was like actually insane, and that all of the characters in SpongeBob were like his schizophrenic delusions. And I was like, well, he is kind of insane, but also like no.
Yeah, it's like who comes up with that and thinks like, I don't know, use that money to like use that energy to like think of new ways to feed the homeless or fix the environment or fix the pandemic. You don't need to make us depressed.
Do something. Get off the conspiracy theories.
Exactly. Oh man. Except the phones. I like the fun ones, but not the just the gross ones.
No, and there's so many like, and then there's like so many like real world like depressing ones that you're just like, all right, like that's enough.
Yeah, like don't go on the Reddit conspiracy page and just rethink your life and everything like that.
No, there's just like there's so many like really depressing, like 9/11 was an inside job, or like Newtown didn't happen, like Sandy Hook wasn't real, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was real. Like 20 kids are dead.
Yeah,
it's real.
I think the ones especially that involve someone losing a family member or someone's losing a life are just inappropriate. Like, yeah, I mean, we we're in Connecticut, Sandy Hook. I remember that day really well. The 9/11 ones are really tough because my dad's a 9/11 survivor, and I don't want to think about that stuff and like what people
Yeah.
make out of it. So it's just disrespectful, especially like as someone who, I mean, luckily that he made it. I mean, there's just so many others didn't, and some people's lives are dramatically changed for the worse. So I just hate when
Yeah.
conspiracies like put that out there because it's just disrespectful to the families, most of all, who became a victim for it.
Yeah, 100%. I just like, they're interesting to like ponder for a second, and then you're like, there's no way this is true. Like, this is like rude. Stop posting stuff like this.
Again, use this energy to like make an invention or
To
something.
do something better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like so many people like put so much negative energy into like trying to disprove things that happened, or trying to like prove that somehow they're better than whatever they're trying to do. But like, just put some positive energy into stuff for once.
Yeah.
Try to make the world better, or at least your life better.
Yeah, why don't we get into that a little bit? Why do you think there's so many people who really don't like to put a positive spin on things? Why do we have so many negative people lately? And I get it. A lot of this world can really knock you down, but especially lately, we can't always be this upset and sad because it really doesn't get us anywhere. Why do you think so many people suck is basically my questions from that.
I think it's really hard for people as a whole to like take responsibility, take accountability for their actions. And maybe not even their actions, but like take, ownership or responsibility over things that have happened to them, and stop blaming themselves. And they're always trying to find someone else to blame. So it comes out in ways that are like just very negative. Yeah. So anytime I see someone like doing something negative, or like even myself, I see myself being negative, I just try to check myself and be like, hey, like, what's going on that's making me do this, or what's making you do that? Because there's no reason that we need to go down this path. Like, there's enough out there trying to knock us down. We don't need to do it to ourselves or to others.
Right. I feel the exact same way. And it's just a priority to keep myself in check because there are plenty of times where I let my emotions get the best of me. And we have to always remember to keep our check beyond us talking on this podcast, once it's after and two. And I think it's, spending a lot of time alone trying to watch things and understanding how decisions, like my grandma Lola all the time talking about decisions, but people make just dumb decisions when you're really pissed off that could lead to catastrophes. And I think that's a real way to keep yourself in check. And I try to remember, and, sometimes I do remember that prevents me. And sometimes I let the emotions get the best of me. And maybe I was fortunate enough that the worst case scenario didn't happen, but that is a solid reminder why if you keep acting or being angry, especially, that you will hit the worst case scenario and that won't be in next time. So I hope really anyone can get that with that.
Yeah. But I think it's also important to like really remember that like being negative is okay. Like, it's not a bad thing to be negative. Like, being negative is a coping skill. It's a tool for you to help yourself to prepare for the worst, or prepare for bad things to happen. But you can't live in that negative place. Like, you have to bring yourself out of it and live in the positive.
Yeah, it's just like Inside Out. We need sadness in our
100%.
life and stuff. That's a great message with there. So of course we just can't let it overtake us and not think with our head straight. So yeah, we just have to. It's just as humble can be, and don't humble brag while you're at it.
Yeah. But I think a lot of like, not necessarily like the media, but like just society as a whole is like really trying to push everyone like just to be positive, like be positive all the time. Like, if you're not positive, like go to therapy, go get help, go do this. And like, you have to like take a step back and remember, like, it's okay to feel all the feelings. It's okay to feel all the emotions. It's okay to like go through the negative, as long as you're able to bring yourself out. And it's only a problem if you're not able to bring yourself out. And that's when you should be going to get help. But like, not everything on earth requires therapy. Sometimes it just takes a friend to talk to and work through a problem.
One of the best quotes from our generation, "It be like that sometimes." And I really, it is funny to talk that, but it really is true. And Yeah, you do need a, I'm somebody, I love my movies and stories, and the best stories are the ones that hit all the emotions and your conflict. That's what makes it a good story and so much believable. We can't have it like Entourage where everything's good. Then you should call out how corny and stupid the show is. We need something that has all emotions.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's like a lot of the kids shows now, like Sesame Street, they go through like all of the emotions and like really try to teach like emotional intelligence to like little kids. But then you go through like the age groups and it gets to like our generation or like our age group, and
Mm-hmm.
like all the shows are like dating shows and stuff, and it's all like this fantasy like perfect world, and we're like, we can't live up to that. So like now you're just making us feel like shit. So that's cool.
You That is a great that is great you mentioned that. I never thought about that in a while. That's so true, that especially those like Sesame Street teaching the import, like Sesame Street's been so timeless because it's taught so many generations how to be a human being. And I understand, once we get older, we have different interests. So they make more shows, like you said, more dating shows, more stuff about trying to be successful, trying to get laid, trying to do all this. But, life is more than that. And I think those things that really stick out to us is the ones that are the most relatable. And you really hit on a great point with that. I hear you strong with it.
Yeah, it's rough out there.
We all need every month. Somebody has to go on YouTube and check a Sesame Street lesson.
Oh my god, I watch. So not even because I'm nannying, like at home sometimes, like if I'm like really in a funk or if I'm like cleaning my room, I'll like put on Rubber Ducky, just the song, and like jam out. So
I'll jam out to the Rugrats theme. I will do that, especially like if
I
I'm
love
in
that one.
I mean, once you hear the Rugrats theme, but you just hear childhood. And I started this lately when I go to the gym to get that extra pump. And you want to know something that I do? I've never told anyone this, so you're real exclusive. So sometimes when I'm working out, I will legit think of something like that makes me cry and sad, and it will give me that extra push. Of course, the other people in the gym are concerned about my well-being. Like, what's wrong with him? Why are you crying at the gym? But I had one person say that. I said, okay, I'm okay, bro. But it's that, like we said, it's all, again, we need that extra thing to give us the little push.
Yeah. And like doing it while you work out is probably a good idea because you're probably actually like working through some of those emotions and like making yourself feel better about it, because you're attaching like positive, like when you're working out, scientifically speaking, you're like putting out those positive endorphins and those all those chemicals. So thinking about sad things, it's probably reinforcing that memory now as a more
Yep.
positive memory. So it's definitely helpful. It's a
It's
form of therapy. I mean, yeah.
totally worth it. It's also like, don't get too, it's really good when you work at it where you're kind of angry. Don't get too angry where you want to throw the weights and stuff. Then you have the lunk alarms hit you. But I heard a great quote once, like sometimes the truth comes out more when you're angry. Just, be careful with your words at that point. But I try to have that little truth there, and whether it's working out or doing some type of work, we need to have all the feels, as you said. Just don't get too into it, and then you're gonna, when someone breaks your heart, you're then listening to Drake music all day, soft Drake music, as I call it, which I've definitely done before.
For sure.
Oh man, speaking of that, we were talking about, you mentioned dating before. You and me love to have our check-ins. We love talking about trying to understand dating in this world. I love hearing your perspectives on things. Can you how do you think what do you think for any stand-up gentleman hopefully doing the right thing in this world, whether it's through an app, whether they see an opportunity, maybe somebody is at a bar in the post-COVID world, and you might see maybe she's looking at you with some eyes, a nice invitation to say hello. Erica, I know a lot of people can use this advice. What do you think is the most appropriate way to gain someone's attention to hopefully maybe start to grow something with them? And we're thinking of we're talking about the guys who are, at a point in their life, maybe they're ready to have a significant other, maybe, I mean, of course, the best advice is, at least expect, don't look for it. But, maybe there's just a chance somebody wants to get to know someone a little more. What do you think is the best approach doing that in the 2020s for people our age and beyond?
Don't be creepy. Don't walk up to a girl, or even on Tinder, like, don't send like something like overly sexual or like weird, because we don't like that. That's weird. But like, just, go with a normal approach, because females are human and males are human. So like, say hi and just like be yourself. Like, say you're at a bar and like you see a girl across the bar or whatever, and like her hair is done really nice or whatever. So you walk up to the girl and you say, hi, I noticed your hair from across the bar. I think it's really pretty. What's your name? Oh my God. Like, you guys make it seem like it's rocket science to try to talk to women. Like, give us a compliment, say hello. Like, it's not that hard. Like,
yeah,
we genuinely just want you to be yourself, because if you're being fake at the bar and then you take us home or whatever, and then something happens and like we get chlamydia, like, that's going to be a problem. But like, if you're yourself at the bar and you're a nice person, and then we get to know you, and then we give you our number, and then we talk, and you're still a nice person, and you're still being normal, and you haven't changed from when we were at the bar, you have a way better shot.
No, you totally hear that. And like, seriously, Erica, you're probably the best person who's ever helped me in my dating world and figuring out being yourself. And I think one thing I especially learned from you, grow on in experience, is like, if somebody is genuinely interested in getting to know me or attracted to me, as long as I'm being my genuine self, and especially as long as me or anyone else is not creepy about it, and who's also patient. I think a lot of guys aren't patient enough. That at least if you show yourself with that, it's up to them. The ball's in their court if they want to get to know you more. So, of course, I used to be somebody who did overcomplicate things, figuring out the exact, okay, if she responds to me this, and if I wait 6.13 minutes, I have a better chance with that. Or if I say this pickup line or that pickup line, and, most of the time it didn't work. And then the few times it did, it was whatever. But that was just a luck thing. And I think that's one thing that I've learned, is just being myself. And, I like to consider myself a unique person. And I figured somebody will someday, when the time's right, be into it and genuine for that. So that's what I've learned. And like you said, we overcomplicate things. I think when it comes to like dating, attraction, or whatever, no matter what your sexual orientation is, that it all like will come together, and that we and like that kind of that attraction, that like getting to know those vibes, that they happen naturally. Like, I don't have to put some extra effort. Like, if I'm texting somebody new and I feel like I have to pull strings, that's probably a great sign. It's probably not go where you think it's going to go, I think we just have to let it flow. And the few times it did work, and for whatever reason it didn't work, but I still, like, anyone I really dated a long time, I gain a lot from them, and I generally hope for their well-being. Those times were just the most natural, and then I didn't have to go on Tinder, go on Google, and figure out what am I doing right or wrong, Yes, I've done that.
100%. It's always it's always better to be yourself, and it's always like, it's so important to just like have that natural connection, because if it's forced, it's never going to last. And like, if you're comfortable with each other and there's no pressure, like, that's the kind of relationship that everyone like strives to have. So if you're putting pressure on the situation, you're not helping yourself, and you're definitely not helping the other person, because going into any relationship or like talking to people, like, both sides are nervous. So you have to remember, like, even though that girl might seem like she has all the confidence in the world, like, every time you text her, there's a smile on her face, and she's absolutely terrified and worried that she's going to say the wrong thing too. So like, you're both human. So just say what you feel. Like, if you miss someone, or like you haven't talked to someone in like 3 or 4 days, and it's someone that you're interested in, text them and be like, hey, I miss talking to you. Like, what have you been up to? And like, you know what, if they don't respond, that's their loss, because they're not that interested. And you know what, you're an interesting person. So you have everything to give. It just, don't give it to the wrong person. I'm sorry if you hear beeping. The baby monitor is dying.
No worries. Do you need to get any like batteries or anything like that? Or are you good?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's just gonna beep every once in a while, farther away.
Cool.
Go.
Yeah, like I amen to all what you're saying, and I think that was one of the best things, especially from 2020, that I got out of, is learning to really love yourself and be patient, and eventually it'll all come together. I really do believe in whatever is meant to be will happen. And I know a lot of people, especially on social media, and we see meme pages complain about dating a lot, but you do see people who are genuinely in love, and you don't really see them complain. So it must be working out for them. And I met this couple, like my grandma's friends with, back in North Carolina. Like, they are couple goals. I've never seen someone so, in love and happy. It was great vibes to be around. And that really taught me, wow, if these guys can do it, then we all can do it, no matter who or what we're into,
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember too, like, making sure that like your relationship stays yours is really important, because like whatever happens in your relationship, it shouldn't be broadcast on social media. It shouldn't be broadcast to the world. Like, yeah, if you need advice, get advice from one or two friends or your parents or whatever, but it doesn't need to go out to the whole world. Like, your relationship is between you, the other person, and if you're religious, God. But other than that, like, you don't need anyone else involved in your personal matters. It's just none of their business. So that's always going to help build a strong relationship, like keeping shit private, keeping it between you. It also helps build trust in your relationship, because if you are saying things to them that maybe you don't tell other people, and now they're broadcasting that, like, obviously you're not going to trust them. So super important.
That's why it's always good between them, the two people who are with each other. And that's why I try my best not to judge relationships, because they know better than me. When I'm with whoever we're around at the time, it's like you really can't judge. It's up to them to figure it out. And as long as it's there and two people care enough to try to keep a relationship going, it will happen, and it's worth fighting for.
Yeah. And it takes that consistent effort. Like, even if you've been married for like 40 years, you still have to put effort in, because, both your lives are consistently changing. So there's never going to be like a let up on the amount of effort you need to put in. The effort just changes.
Yeah. I think effort is probably one of the best things dating has, that people need to focus on, is having effort. Do what you can to have a surprise for your significant other. Get her flowers one day after a long day at work, or take her to her favorite spot or stuff like that.
Yeah. Figure out like what your partner's love language is. Like, for me personally, like, I love words of affirmation. So like, if I'm dating someone and they're like, I don't care if you text me 24/7, because I don't care about communication that much. But like, if you're thinking about me and you send me a text that says, hey, I was thinking about you, like, how's your day? That means more to me than if you talk to me all day about nothing. Like, so figure out like what your partner needs or wants, or like if they love receiving gifts, like make sure you're surprising them with something that's, not material, but is thoughtful, because that's going to mean, walking down the street and picking a dandelion, like, as stupid as it sounds, kids do it all the time for their parents, because they genuinely like believe that their parents love that. And like, when they do that and they pick a flower, they're thinking about you. So like, it means so much more than like a guy that, thinks you need flowers every day and goes to the store and buys you a bouquet. Like, great, you spent $5 on flowers. Like, cool. Were you actually thinking about me, or did you just feel guilty because you've been at work all day and ignoring me?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to be that's a strong part about being yourself. Don't think it's corny. Don't think it's what. That extra effort is going to make so many strides, and will keep building that love and bond that will be hard to just let go and break. So, man, again, just killing it with from the HR to this to, seriously, Erica, we're going to be winning. Somebody, whoever it is for us, we're going to be a real catch to somebody.
Hopefully. Been going on dates with someone, so hopefully that works out.
All right. Well, you definitely have my strong support, and I'm sure all the other listeners. So whoever's listening out there, Erica Larson is the best. Don't mess it up, whoever you're seeing. So
thank you. I think he needs to hear that.
Well, Be sure. I'm setting the spirits to make sure he finds his way here for that. All right.
Perfect.
So, Erica, tell me. I want to know something, right? What do you miss about our old school, University of Hartford College? Our undergrad finished 3 years ago. It's been quite a time. You miss it a lot, or though? I mean, not fiending, or I'm assuming you're not fiending
Well,
to go to parties like that anymore, or whatever. But just a nice
I mean,
college experience.
right, right about now, like mid-COVID, when we can't go out or do anything, like yeah, it'd be fun to go to a college party, but
Okay, stand
yeah,
corrected
no,
on that. I hear that.
not really. Like, if there was no COVID going on, I think I'd be okay. I don't know, like honestly, like I miss going to classes because I miss learning things. So like
Mhm.
I love school. Like I've always loved school. I'm super nerd, but I do miss going to classes and like learning things and like having assignments to do and like stuff like that. So maybe I'll take some online classes, do something to just, keep going with that. But
Mhm.
really like the only thing I miss, and it's not so much that I miss it, but like just regret, like all 4 years I was in college, I was like in a relationship or like in an on and on again, off again type situation. So
Yep.
like I kind of just wish that I had gone, through college and like been single and like had
Mhm.
fun and just done my thing. But you know, I don't regret it. I definitely wish it like maybe it was different, but I don't regret it because I definitely learned a lot of things from both of those people. So, and I love both of them to death. I mean, they're both great people.
Yep.
Nothing bad to say, but it's just like a weird situation where like you look back and you're like, what if? Like what if I was single? Like what would I have done? Would I have messed up my life? Like would I have a kid? Like who knows? Who knows what would have happened?
It's funny you say that because I sometimes think about that like the total opposite. Like I didn't have any. I was as dry as a man as someone could be with college. I didn't really have that part of my college experience really. And of course, I thought like, oh, what if I was like that? I somehow was in a fraternity all 4 years. I was a president of one, and still didn't work out for me. But I'm much happier with that because I don't think I'd have the growth and more prepared for the real world when it comes to relationships like that. And I still have so much work, a long ways to go, and so much to learn. But I think that really was a blessing. I really got focused. I got a lot of great internships in return from it. I got some cool jobs and grew so much more as a person and as a leader. And who knows if I was, you know, if I had that aspect of getting laid and stuff, would that have hindered anything or changed? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But for whatever reason, it wasn't meant to be. But much better for the real world because of it. And I'm growing in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah, I
Oh.
don't know. I do miss giving tours. I don't know. Like I just genuinely miss like walking around and talking about like the different buildings at school.
Oh, Uhart tours, man. Yeah, that's how we originally met, was being tour guides at Uhart, the Red Key Society. Oh, I did like, especially I liked it towards the end, like our junior, senior. It was so much fun. Like when
So much
Chrissy took
fun.
over,
It was so much
especially.
fun.
Were you there? I forgot her name. Her name was Jen, who was the boss before. I think she
Yeah,
still
I was there
was.
for
You were there
I
for
think I was there
Jen.
for some doing tours for like one semester when Jen was there, but then Christy took over and I was like, yes.
Chrissy to
She was
this
great.
Chrissy to this day is one of my favorite bosses ever. She was genuine. She was
Yeah. She just got
honest.
married.
I saw that.
She
I still owe her congratulations. I admit. I bet.
was okay.
But
But yeah, no, like tours and accepted students days were just so much fun. Like laying in the hallway behind the
accepted
stage,
students
like
day.
just chilling with you guys. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I remember
Except
like
for the ones that was the day after Halloween was always the worst one though, because everyone came in hungover. It was terrible. No one liked that one. Why did they have an accepted student day then?
I remember that. Oh, the why? I guess he really wanted to show you. This is what you're in for.
Yeah, we had to be there at 7 a.m. We were like, what?
Yeah,
Like some of us went to bed at 5. Like, can you relax?
those Sunday exceptions. They were. I loved. You know what? I love the raps. I love our lunch times. They had
Yeah,
some good
so
things, and
much fun.
when they didn't have the Uhart food, and they went all out for that. Oh, can you tell me your if it's not too bad, your most awkward tours story. Like for me, I could start mine. I went in on a Saturday morning tour, and my tour witnessed a walk of shame. Like literally, see you later. And go. Oh, that was pretty bad. It wasn't my tour, but do you remember? I think it was Natalie. She went in when there was a naked girl walking on to Commons. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what to say.
I remember that.
And I don't.
I think the worst tour I ever had was I think it was the only tour guide, or maybe it was me and you. I think it was me and you, but you made me go out because you didn't want to take the tour. So it was Spring Fling Saturday.
Oh yeah. I think
you made me go out.
I'm sorry.
And give the tour because you literally, you showed up with like a travel mug, and I was like, oh, like you brought coffee, like good for you, man. He's like, you were like, it's beer. I was like,
oh, dude.
So I was like, I'm gonna take the tour.
Hey, it was a different time for everybody.
It was fine. But yeah, I mean, I think that was the worst tour just because there was like 9 ambulances lined up by like the sports center, and the mom was like, why are there so many ambulances? And I was like, oh, like it's Spring Fling, like just in case. And she was like, you're not going here. And I was like, okay, tour over.
You are not going. No. We're supposed to kids.
She's like, she was like, there is way too much partying. She's like, you are going to a Catholic university. And I was like, it was like one family too. And the kid was like 15. And I was like, he has like 3 years to decide. But okay, great.
What? Oh,
it was so awkward.
Boy, helicopter parents. That kid's probably a humongous party animal wherever he's at now. Oh man.
Yeah, it was so weird. No, and then I had another tour, and I had like, I want to say it was like maybe 8 or 9 families on the tour. Like it was a pretty big tour, and like everyone like had their mommy and their dad with them. Like I want to say it was like a Saturday morning or like a Friday afternoon tour. And one of the moms, like we got to the dorms, and she was like, oh, like so how does the dorms work? And I was like, you know, like it goes by floor, like female, male, whatever. And she was like, oh, like, so my daughter has a boyfriend, like, is he going to be allowed to sleep like in her dorm? I was like, well, if he comes to visit, like that's allowed as long as like her roommate agrees to it. And she's like, oh, so like you guys endorse 4-legged showers. And I was like, no, we don't endorse that. Like
endorse, it just happens.
It's not a thing. I was like, it's just like that occurs. Like this is college. Welcome to it. But yeah, it was really awkward. So
wow, that's a tough one. You know, I really can't cover my head where I had some like really awkward interaction. Except I had one bad joke fall flat in my face. I would tell this joke depending on the crowd. When we would go to the freshman dorms, I would say like, oh, this is where people become a man or woman for the first time. This is where kids, you know, start to make lifelong friends. And then I would joke like sometimes, oh, this is where kids lose their virginities. And it would work like 9 out of 10 times. And of course I would read the crowd. I'd do it more of like I do it like, you know, if I'm if I feel like they have a good sense of humor for it. And then one time they just didn't, and they just, I've never had like more awkward bomb, just like when it was just
so many crickets.
So many crickets. And I said, okay, moving on. So that was just the worst one. And then I was right behind the naked tour. I mean, that would have been something else. And yeah, besides that and seeing the walk of shame, that was I really got my times. And it was cool seeing some kids that they were on our tours, and seeing them on campus was pretty sweet to watch. Remember this kid David? I was like pretty cool with him.
I had a few times where like I gave like a tour, and then afterwards, like I went home, and like 2 hours later, I had like a friend request on Facebook, and I was like, "That's weird."
They value.
Cool.
I think I've had that a couple times. I think that's happened to me a couple times too.
It happens. I always accepted them. Like if they had questions, I would answer them. But like it was just like awkward. Like, why are you requesting me on Facebook? You don't know me.
You know, one thing I did was I did that like stay at Uhart for a night on campus like before. And I was this kid Adam, and we both graduated, saw each other. I know I saw him. He bought a Porsche. Oh, he's winning out here. And
Nice.
I remember we went and the band Nine. You know the band 9 Days by any chance? This is a story of a girl, real one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad. I think they used to play MTV and everything. Now they're playing at Hawk's Nest, but maybe they have a comeback in them.
Oh.
But I remember I remember the thing that I was one of the first times I was really exposed to weed for the first time because my counselor said he did it and he showed, but I wound up saying no, but then you know, more of college that part of life started. But I remember that was it interesting times, like, wow, this is what we're really in for.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't think I never did like an overnight or anything. I like had friends that went there because, you know, we're from Connecticut. It's a small state, so
right.
I just knew people.
I tried to get that job so bad and then gave it to Benny, but he was good for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Benny was like the best option because you knew he wasn't like going to do anything irresponsible like while he was there, but he's still fun and very personable. I love Benny.
For sure. I hope he's doing well. Great guy. Do you miss any of the I miss going to I can't believe Blue Axe Square was cool. Feeling badass with that. Before I had my car, I could just hop on that bus with people and feeling so energetic. Of course, the famous J's. What was that place? Isaac's? I wasn't too crazy about Isaac's. I know everyone in school seemed to, but I was just like, it's okay.
It was okay. Just bagels, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great. Yeah. I mean, I nanny in West Hartford, so I'm like 2 minutes away from Blueback right now.
Oh, no way.
We go up there with the kids. Yeah, I go up there with the kids all the time. We go to the toy chest.
Oh,
it's a really fun little toy store. But yeah, I don't know. I like grew up so close. Like I know you're from Norwalk, right?
Yep. So I'm about an hour and a half away.
You're like an hour. Yeah. So, but from Southington, it's like 20 minutes to West Hartford. So like I kind of grew up here. So not as exciting.
The only times I'd go to Hartford before going to school was what was that? I drive past it a lot, but sometimes a couple concerts here and there was cool. And well, I never got to go to a concert. I never went to that arena at once at college. So
which was the Xfinity?
Yeah. It's still there, right?
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, I never went during college. I don't think I ever went during college. Oh, maybe once or twice, but like more so in high school. I have 10% battery left on my phone, just so you know.
Okay, perfect. Well, no worries, because we've been actually at it for a good hour, 15 minutes. So I just wanted to finish this with the what I call Proust questionnaire, how I end all new podcasts now. So just a quick rapid fire. And I'm really excited for your answers to these questions, especially. So here we go. With that, so the Proust questionnaire. So I end every show. And I just said, okay. So ready, Erica? So excited with how you answer this. My first question: what is your favorite word?
I
know.
That's a great question. I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I think okay. So my favorite word right now is disgusting.
Disgusting.
But it's because the 2-year-old that I'm waiting for, everything. Every time I say no, he goes, "Oh, disgusting." And I think it's so funny.
I'm gonna try that in my adult.
So definitely disgusting.
What's your least favorite word?
My least favorite word is poop.
Poop.
Because it comes up in every sentence when you're potty training a 2-year-old. Every sentence.
I hate that word too. I hate people who have poop humor and toilet humor. I just no.
Yeah. No. Also moist, like words like that, like moist, poop.
Anything in that category. So when I asked this question, number 3, this isn't a sexual question, but people assume I asked that. But it's what turns you on?
If a guy smells good, usually that's helpful because I don't like dirty people.
So like, again, this is just have to do with dating or anything like that in general. What you just like fragrance and stuff like that?
I like when people don't smell bad. Like I like good smelling deodorants. I like when guys smell good. I like when your dog smells fresh. Not that dogs turn me on, but like I just like good smells. I don't because I'm very like sensitive to smells. They make me like super nauseous or like just terrible, like headaches and stuff. So like anytime something smells good, I'm like very happy, I'm very content.
I love that. What turns you off?
When things smell bad.
Great one. What sound or noise do you love?
Do I love? I love the sound of bacon frying. I don't really know why. It's just like a good, like the sizzling. This is a good sound.
Making me hungry already. What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate the sound of people chewing. I actually am like genetically phobic to it. Oh. Like it came up in my 23andMe report. It's like a thing.
Really? I think that would come from me too. All right. What's your favorite curse word?
My favorite curse word?
Yep.
Cunt. Definitely my favorite. People hate that word, but it's like, I love it. I think it's funny.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would love to be a vet. I would love it. I would love everything about it. I just can't afford to go to vet school.
Well, I know you would definitely kill it.
Plan.
If you ever change it, you still have my support. What profession would you not like to do?
Ooh, school teacher.
School teacher.
I could do daycare. I like little kids. I could never deal with school-age children. I mean, other than the one I nannied for, I love her to death. She's great. But I've also nannied for her since she was 1.5. So.
All right. Well, I think you would be a good teacher, but you know better than me what you want to do. My last question before we say goodbye.
I definitely couldn't deal with
it. All right, Erica, the last question I have before we say goodbye. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Probably something along the lines of like you've really helped people, or like you've made an impact, or just like knowing that like I did something that wasn't like selfish. Not that I'm like a selfish person, but just like something that I know like I impacted other people, because that's like always what I try to do. Positively, not like negatively impact.
I love it. Beautiful answer. Well, Erica, you were absolutely incredible. You did awesome. You look great. So much great advice here and great stories. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me with this. I think a lot of people are going to love it. And I certainly love talking with you with this. So if there's anything else, just thank you so much for coming on, Erica. You're the best as always. Is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
I don't think so. Just don't be a stranger. Text me. Don't just text me when you need me to be on your podcast.
I promise I'll do that as always. But Erica, again, like I said, you're the best. Seriously, just thank you so much. And I will continue to keep that promise. I promise you to not be a stranger. So, all right, with that, I'll let you go back to the kids as you help develop them to be great adults. And I'll talk to you really, really soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Erica. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Matt.